So Sunday morning, time for another farm update. Hope you're all having a decent week. Got another bank holiday off this coming Monday. They seem to come thick and fast in May. And anyway, what have we got in this update? We are looking again at the cereals event. We had, you saw in the midweek update, we had a crop plot day. Well, then this last week we're doing, I've got had a meeting with Anglian Water, had a meeting with a few exhibitors. And also we're cutting the grass. We've got the Cancella mowers running from Spaldings. So they're now on the car parks and all the main walkways and the main rest of the areas that John's not cutting with his little mower. So the site's really beginning to take shape now. Now we've got the big mowers going. So we'll take a look at that. Also, we've got some agronomy from Michael looking at sugar beet, and there are some reports of some aphids starting to appear in sugar beet, which is way early, but it's a result of the neonicotinoid seed treatment ban. We talk about that as well with Michael, as well as other things to do with sugar beet. Also, we're looking at spraying as well. We're doing some wheat spraying this week, but the hot days haven't helped because you can't spray over 22 degrees. So that's been a bit of an issue. And also we're looking at watering some of the plots on the cereal site. It's so dry that we need to start looking at watering. We did actually have a 5mm thunderstorm on, I think it was Thursday night, which completely wasn't forecast at all, but very welcome. It did enormous amount of good. The crops changed virtually overnight, and that has done some good, but obviously 5mm within 24 hours has gone. So we are needing to look at watering the crop plots up on the site, or doing something with them. And I think once we get set up with this, we're going to have to offer it to some of the exhibitors as an option and see if they want to pay. If they want their plots doing, it's going to be quite labour intensive for us. We're getting set up with various sprinkler heads and bits and bobs. You'll see in this update, thanks to a friend of mine giving us a contact, I went to get some bits, so that's great. So you'll see that what we're doing regarding the sales event, and generally it's just full on now preparing, because in about a month's time we start build up. Even though the event is the 11th and 12th of June, build up will start sort of 10 days or a fortnight before that. Just touching on that sales event, please remember, if you want to come, you're more than welcome. You don't have to be a farmer to come. The ticket link for register for tickets is in the video description. Use the discount code WAFFLE25 and that will give you 50% discount price tickets. And you can also register on that link for the event next year, which is at Jeremy Clarkson's Diddley Squat Farm. So you can get two for the price of one. So have a look at that, and remember, you don't have to be a farmer to do it. And also remember, we've got the Warder's Waffle Bar, which we'll be really pleased to see you at Cereals, and that's really generously sponsored by my accountants, Duncan and Topless. So thanks very much, guys, for that. Anyway, that's it now for the intro. Let's crack on into this video. Hope you enjoy it, and as ever, please come back with any questions, and we'll see you at the end. We are up at the cereal site again. You can see lots of activity starting to happen now. This is what we're now Wednesday morning, and we've got Martin here from Ceres Machinery, who do forklift attachments, mould drainers, various things like that, and Jax as well from Come Exposium, the organisers. We're just going through a few things, and we have got, where is he, in the background there, we've got John, who looks after all the site, along with Sean from NIAB, but John's there just going to put some fertiliser on some plots. We're just discussing about watering, because it's so dry here and there is absolutely no rain forecast for the next 2 weeks. So we're just wondering how we can get some water. We've got 17,000 litre our Bowser. Yeah. So Martin's here. What we're looking at, Martin, we're just discussing.
Floor plans and layout.
Robert Jackson getting a car.
Discussing
That is the layout.
Cereals floor plan.
Look at that. That's the layout. Yep. And you see down here. So, yeah, lot going on. Sprays and Sprayers Arena, which is down the other side, down the bottom there, and all the other stands.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
In the middle there.
And we're chatting away with. Hold that side, Martin.
Oh, dear.
We're chatting away with Martin, whose stand is.
Martin is down there on the
Down
edge of the
here.
Sprayers
Right
Arena.
here.
So Ceres
It's got some-
Machinery. Where's your logo, Martin? On your
Got one there.
Ceres. Call it what you like.
Yeah.
But that's how it is, and it's orange machinery. And what do you do, Martin? You've got grain pushers.
Mould drainers.
Yep.
Subsoilers.
Yeah. Forklift attachments generally.
Yep. Yeah, lock spag lifters and
Great.
front movers, all kinds of goodies.
And while we're on it, Jax, what's your role? What's your
Sales director.
sales director? There we
Sales
go.
director at
So,
Cereals.
so anybody who's had the stands and is exhibiting here has had the pleasure of dealing with the delightful
Yeah,
Jax.
they've had to put up with me. Thank you all very much.
So this is the last tank full of the day spraying. Ruben's putting on a mixture of fungicides and some trace elements. This is a crop of cranium, that's a variety, cranium wheat. This one was planted middle of November. There's 4 fields planted then. That one just to the side of the farm track was done then as well. Just looking down at these crops again into them, you can just see the soil. It's thinner than some of the other ones. They were about right for plant density up to 3 weeks ago, a month ago, but since this dry weather and lack of rain, just look at these tram lines here, how cracked they are when you look there. See, I already get my hand right down there past the knuckles up to the base of my thumb. Oh, by the way, that's the, you just see it's a bit red still. That's when I burnt myself with boiling, scalding water on there. You can just see it's a bit red on the there, so I'm going to be really careful with the sun and put sun cream on. Oh, those of you who wondering what this is a public footpath that we have going across the middle of the farm. They go from church to church. So there's the church at Brantbruton. This footpath goes along here, and then it goes right across the corner of this field, and it goes across the corner of the other one, and you can see a church spire up there on the top. That's Fullbeck. Sorry, is that Fullbeck? That might be Caythorpe. And no, it's Fullbeck. And years ago, before cars were like they are today, people used to walk everywhere. Horse and cart days, people used to walk from village to village and church to church, and that's what this is. And unless we spray these footpaths out like this and keep them clear, a metre wide, we can be fined by the county council. I know that's really odd. You think this is our own land, this is land we own, and how can we be fined on our own land? But that's what happens, that's the rules. And there's an organisation called the Ramblers Association that monitor all these footpaths all over the country, and we applied to have this one moved a few years ago to put it across the outside of the field where there's a riverbank and across all our flower margins, and thought that would be a lot more interesting. And someone objected, Rambler objected, and if they get one objection to an application to move them, then that application is thrown out. And that was about 15-20 years ago I applied to do it. I maybe should try again. But yeah, what is interesting about walking across through the middle of a field like this? So to get this done, we've sprayed this wheat with glyphosate, or Roundup as you might know it, with glyphosate to kill off the weed and make a path for the footpaths to for people to walk. So that's why we've got this across the middle of the fields, and we have to do it. And everybody has to do it, otherwise you're liable if you don't mark it and clear the footpath of obstruction, which the crop they call an obstruction. Boom coming through this footpath. The cutting of the car parks has started today. We are now Wednesday early evening. Very interesting looking through here at this grass. This is the exhibitor area in the second field. This is the field that hasn't got the crop plots in. So this is just all open grass at the moment with a wildflower strip down the middle. You can see there where Nala is. That taller is thing is a wildflower strip. That's because that is car park that side and trade stands this side. So the whole of this from where Nala is here, right the way across to the middle hedge where my discovery is all trade stands, rows and rows of trade stands, smaller trade stands, car park here. Now you can see what we've done here. Can you see a green strip? We're maybe looking the wrong way for the sun, but if I go up, you can just see through here, we put some extra nitrogen on here because this is where the main walkway is going to be. Right through the middle here is going to be main 10 metre wide walkway, and I wanted the grass really thick. And this is a beauty when you look at this of broadcasting it compared to drilling it in rows. Come the show in 6 weeks' time, this will be just a lovely mat of green to walk on. So much better. There's the line down there, and then this way you can see there's the line there. Just trying to do everything we can where people are going to be walking the most. The grass will be a lot better under the feet. We put extra seed on these walkways as well last September in readiness for this. So these are the new mowers that are on demo from Spalding's at the moment. Yeah, this is the wildflower area. God, this has come well. That is going to be stunning come June. Burning a mass of colour all through here. We've got a 2.8 metre mower on the back, so on the front, and a 2.5 on the back. It's funny how the GPS sorts out the offset, because obviously you've got 5 and a bit metres of width of the machine, but it's not equally behind the tractor. You've got a lot of it hanging out one side compared to the other, but the GPS on this John Deere just sorts it. So you do every other breed like this and it just sorts it. Green Star, which is the John Deere operating system, the GPS system, that's what gives us a yellow dome on the roof. You can just see the yellow dome in the middle of the roof. That's what's picking up all the satellites. It is absolutely spot on. It's so much better than the Trimble system that we've had on the case in the past, and the system we've got on the combine. It's still Trimble, and this Green Star is so much better. So this is the bang on about the middle of the site of cereals. You can just see here a green line here that goes down there. So all that there is green compared to the right, and this square here is where the Warder's waffle bar. Thank you Duncan and Topless for sponsoring that, and also the young farmers area next to each other just here. So we're going to have some really good grass. So we are now, what are we, Thursday morning. Today is going to be really hot. It talks have been forecast to be 27 degrees, and so yeah, the crops are just starting to, I think, lose a bit of yield potential. When you look here behind me, this looks lovely and green, and this is one of the fields after sugar beet that we planted on November the 15th. So it's looking really well at the minute. It's a variety called, I think, Gleam, but there's actually, to be honest, I think there's 4 or 5 different varieties in here. We use a bit of oddments. There's probably Gleam, Dorsum, Cranium, and Oxford in here as well, maybe a bit of Beowulf, I'm not sure. So there's a few varieties in here, and this is our last field we planted, but looking quite good. Anyway, where I am now, next to us here is a winter bird food plot that you saw in Wednesday's update. Tom was going around soloing all the plots. That's when we had the farmer group from Fylde in Lancashire visit. Great to see you guys if you're watching this. And we were going around with a solo then, working all these plots, and then after that afternoon I wasn't around. They got the culti press on, and Tom came around everywhere with the culti press and got all these ready. So they're all sort of half worked down now. You can see how dry and hard it is. They do want to rain, so we want the rubbish to grow in here before we do anything to it. So there'll be a lot of weeds growing here yet, and we're not bothered if we don't plant this while sort of July time. Really important that we get the weeds growing before we plant the crop, because you can't spray any herbicides or you can't do anything to these winter bird food areas once the crop's in. So it's important we kill it with glyphosate. We kill all the weeds with Roundup with glyphosate before we put the crop in the ground. So we've got this all work ready. We want some rain obviously on it at some time. Let the weeds grow. We'll spray it off, and then come in and put the seed in the ground. So you can see there, it's worked quite well for being so dry. There was a little bit of moisture underneath. We were working the solo quite deep, and it brought up some moisture, and then Tom managed to come in here before it dried out. It was literally that afternoon, so managed to get it done. So it has worked quite well, actually getting the soil sort of knocked down, if you like. But you can just see how hard and dry some of these are. That's one. You can see there in my hand how big that is. It's just like concrete, that. If I drop it on that stone there, it's breaking the stone. Look at that. A little bit that's broke off, but there, that's broken in half. But you can just see inside, look, there's just no moisture in these at all. So that's what we want to do with these. A bit of rain on here, and these won't get planted for a few weeks yet. It doesn't, it's fine, that doesn't matter. So this wheat from a distance looks okay, and it is, but you can just see when you look down into the crop, it's just starting to lose some of these bottom tillers are sort of dying off. I know they do anyway every year, but it's just going to be a bit thin if we're not careful. Skylarks singing, which are great. So there is Reuben in the distance. He's just in the middle of the sprays and sprayers area. So we'll just nip down and have a quick look at him. But when you're walking down here, this grass really coming on now. Just want a rain, that's all we want. If we got some rain, God, it would improve. Looks like Reuben's just on his last breed next to the wheat plot. So this now is the sort of bottom end of the site. You've got all the crop plots up there towards the road. This is the sprays and sprayers arena. These wildflowers around the outside will be a massive colour in another few weeks. They'll be all wire fencing, not wire, ropes up here to stop people going in. The sprayers will go in at the end there. You can just see wheeling in sort of just there. Sprayers will go in there. And then we've got a bit of a no-go zone here to allow for the boom of the sprayers to turn round, and they won't clout the visitors rather that are coming here. Looks like they've lifted it up a bit, which I think is a good idea. Not cut it quite as short. So we've got Michael here again this week for our weeklies. This is the second week in a row, Michael.
I know.
Check it. I wonder what. Actually, I wonder what comments we're going to get this week. You know that.
What about you being my grandfather or something?
No.
Was that it?
No. It said it looked like you were more like my brother rather than me being your father-in-law. Anyway, so we're in sugar beet this week, and this is the field up on the heath, which actually the Seals event is only just across the road, isn't it? Not far away.
Yep.
Drilled end of March time, 25th of March.
You tell me, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think it was 25th.
Yeah,
25th of March. So it's had one herbicide.
Yes.
What's it had?
Yeah, a mixture of fenmedifam, what else do you have? Ethifumazate,
Yeah.
and as a manganese.
Manganese, that was it. So we'll do a close-up in a minute of it. So it's had one of those about, what would that be, 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks, something like that?
It was a week on Monday, so it's 10 days.
10 days ago.
Yeah.
And it's done a cracking job, hasn't it?
It's done an excellent job. Yeah.
So this sugar beet has actually had a bit of rain on it, hasn't it? It had 10 or 12 millimetres of rain
It did,
on that weekend when we got 16 millimetres at the glebe, and it got 10, which has made a difference.
Oh,
you can see.
It's got it away.
Yeah.
Not to say that it doesn't seem wants some more.
Yes.
I don't like to bleat on, but we are getting desperate.
We're getting
in
desperate.
this area.
I'm going to say, what's things like elsewhere where you're looking after?
There's a band through the Midlands here. You either get it really wet or really dry.
We're not happy with it.
No.
And we're dry.
Get down South Lincolnshire where we farm, not quite as bad. I think we got I can't remember, nearly an inch.
Yeah.
Cambridgeshire that they got similar. So actually we're in a better state.
Yeah.
Albeit it's drying up quickly, but
Yeah,
at least wash the nitrogen in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's something. But at the glebe, that's grown tremendously well for not having any rain, hasn't it?
Unbelievable. I mean, I think you drilled it a bit deeper, didn't you, deliberately?
Yeah.
And I can't believe
And
how
rolled
it's come.
it.
Every plant's come.
It has.
Yeah.
So
and
back,
every weed. I mean, it's. I mean, this up here on the heath, it's notorious for growing rubbish.
Yeah.
Actually, down at the glebe on the heavy land, it's worse this year.
There's a lot there, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of fat hen.
So we've done one fungicide, not fungicide, one herbicide there only 2 or 3 days ago.
Correct.
So that's okay. Up here, it's had a second, but it's had a graminicide.
Yeah.
For grass weeds.
So it's had one broadleaf herbicide, that's 10 days ago, and then this Monday it had, there's quite a lot of wild oats.
Wild oats in it, and a bit of grass weed on the headland here because somebody, I don't know who it was, do you know, Michael?
Oh, I can't imagine.
Somebody
not into telling tales.
Got the wrong switches on the coon spreader when we were putting the grass seed on, and I can't know who that was, but somebody not very tall. And we got the wrong switch, and then instead of spreading 10 metres of grass, ended up spreading 20. So we need to just down here, we need to spray. We've actually done that. That's been caught with this, hopefully, but we'll see whether it works or not. So next on in here, weed control.
Yeah, Monday. I mean, actually, it's not desperately weedy, but what is here is getting large. So we'll go again next week. It's actually a bank holiday, so I don't know whether you're working bank holiday or not. It'll be early next week anyway.
Yeah.
And then we just need to keep an eye out for aphids because we are starting to see a few aphids in the beet.
And that's the early drilled ones.
I've been wandering around in my hands and knees in here, and I've only found one. But
we need to get a shot of that.
What, the 8 2?
No, you're on your hands and knees praying.
So there's not enough to worry about yet, but of course aphids spread virus, so we just need to be vigilant. You can't mix the aphids with the herbicides, so we need to get the next herbicide on and then be prepared if necessary to squeak an insecticide in there before we have to go again with the hopefully final herbicide.
And this, I mentioned to you on the phone this morning about the insecticide job. Prime example, isn't it, where the sugar beet is so small at the minute, but because we weren't allowed to use the neonicotinoid seed treatment, that would have taken care of the aphids at the minute now.
Yeah.
But because of that, we couldn't use that because the Labour government and DEFRA stopped us from using it. If we need to spray it, it will mean spraying the whole field, which then puts an insecticide on the soil.
But risks your beneficials.
Absolutely.
And everything. It is a shame really, because the seed. I mean, seed treatments. When I was growing up, when I was at college, seed treatments were, sold to us, for want of a better word, as the sort of safest way to apply these things, because you put a minute amount on the seed underground and out of the way of any non-target species. And now, of course, we can't. They've stopped us using them, so we're now spraying possibly twice, possibly 3 times with an overall spray, which puts the beneficial insects at risk and everything.
Absolutely, you're killing far more. You're killing the things. When we say beneficial insects, they're the things we want to keep, because some of these insects actually do eat the green fly and the aphids, don't they?
Yeah, but aphids are what's spreading the virus. The virus hits the yield of the beet hard. That can mean that beet's not worth growing. If you get hit hard enough with virus. But any other, we don't want to take anything else out that's not causing us a big problem. It's the aphids that are causing the problem. If we can be selective, take those out, but nothing else.
Yeah, so exactly. And
that's what
there's insects flying about now around our feet.
Yeah.
And I won't show my feet because I'm not in work mode at the minute.
Make me feel bilious.
And if I can find a picture of somewhere or a video, and I'll look back, I'll overlay it, because how many years ago we lost a lot of beet from virus yellows, didn't we?
It's before my time on this farm.
But nationally, I mean, I think here we lost 50% of the crop we grow.
Did you really?
Yeah,
right.
It was horrendous. We got and then it was horrendous. It really was really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's 6-7 years ago, maybe more than that.
Yeah, well, there was a time where we weren't using the seed treatment before, wasn't there? I mean, the last few years we've been allowed to, and there were a few years before that, so it must have been sort of 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. We'll just turn the camera around and just have a look at 1 or 2 of the plants and just show, because you actually look underneath the leaves, don't you, for the aphids?
Yeah, you do.
So we'll have a look at that. So Michael's daily pilgrimage at the minute, praying. I'm not sure what for.
You wouldn't want to know.
So what Michael's doing is turning the leaves over. That's a good one, in the sun. So Michael's turning the leaves over because that's where the aphids are. And aphids is another name for greenfly, I suppose, but because they're always on the underside of the leaves.
They're not. I'm not going to be lucky, I don't think.
You're not
Well,
gonna...
I don't know. It depends which way you look at it. I don't really want to find any.
No. Because what's the threshold? How many per plants?
One wingless aphid per 4 plants, I believe.
Yes.
Which is not many.
It's not many, is it, at all?
No. And actually, the one I did find was winged, but
Right.
no, we're not going to find any.
No, we're not. We're not. Yeah. But generally, when you look down here, I mean, it looks quite...
Yeah, it looks good. The sun's not quite in the right angle.
It's
now.
not. No.
It's if you get it right, it looks really quite the picture. And,
It is.
And give it a week, it'll look phenomenal. It'll look lovely.
But just looking at the soil as well, when you look at here, isn't it light and dry? Just run your hand. You look at that, Michael. Just you pick that up. You can just look at that.
Yeah. I mean, I bet that'd nearly blow, you know, with it.
Yes. Yeah. It's maybe only the stone that's stopping it.
Yeah.
But that just shows what it's like here. No dikes, no drains, no ditches.
Interestingly, you don't have to go that deep.
Is there moisture there?
There is
moisture.
There is moisture.
Is it cold or not? Is it warm?
No, it's warm, but it is
There
wet.
is moisture there.
It
Look
is
at
wet.
that.
So that's, you know, you can see why the beet is growing nicely.
Yes.
Because it'll love this sun.
Yeah,
Beet
it
loves sunshine.
loves warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not, well, we are desperate, but we're not going to.
No, that's right. We're just getting ready with the Bowser to go up to the heath to put some water on some of the plots of the seals event, but the RX hasn't got a pickup hitch on, so we're having to just put it on with the Manitou. But we're going to, because the John Deere, the 6215R, we've now got it professionally cleaned. We've got company here professionally cleaning it. We can't put that on the Bowser. So Tom and Ruben are putting the Bowser on the 8RX. Then we're going to fill it up with water and take it up to the heath. So I've just come back too late. My phone went flat. Just when I started the video, Tom filling it. Anyway, Tom's got full now. So this is one of the rainwater tanks. You can see there it's coupled up to that gutter, but we're going to move it because when we put this in, it was my fault. It's in the wrong place. We can't cut the hedges down here. So we've got a base made there. So we're going to move the tank around to there. And then that down pipe that's there with the shed there, we're going to bring it all the way around and down here and round and up here and then down into this tank, and it will fill the tank a lot quicker. Are you full, Tom? Oh, not quite.
Well,
Is that full?
I think that's float.
Oh, is the float's not quite.
Well, look at that main tank's full. Look at it saying.
Oh, the main. Oh, there we go. So the float switches aren't quite right. They come. Yeah. I just suggested to Tom it'd be a good idea to go on the weighbridge. Just under 44 tonnes. Just up on site at the seals at one of the car park entrances with some guys companies who do supply the trackway, because we've got quite a lot of entrances along this road and we're just thinking about putting some trackway in here, just because if it's a wet, when we're bringing the traffic in, it will cause a lot of disruption in the gateway. So this is the long road that we're going to be using for one of the lines of traffic into this field corner here. I'll just turn this camera around, actually you'll get a bit better idea. Traffic will be coming down this road here, and then we've got this wide gateway here already. I'm going to move those there, and then this is the field. This is one of the car parks. This is what we've just mown. You saw early on in this clip Ruben mowing it. This is one of the car parks. Starting to really thicken out this wheel now. You can see the grass here. And then the main site where all the show is going to be is just across the other side there. So yeah, we'll just put some panels in maybe in here, but it's, I've always say with these panels, it's a job, because my view is if you're going to put panels up there, trackway panels up there, you need them all in here. They've got to be a point where you stop somewhere, and they're not cheap as well, these panels. You'll see them putting some of them in nearer to the event.
5.
Yeah.
For all of them.
And then we'll just.
And then obviously once you decide what you want and what you don't want.
Yeah.
No drama.
Yeah.
So the grass is looking much better now. It's had its first cut, and this is where Tom's brought the Bowser. Just watering some of the plots that have only just been put in. We're trying to get a different sort of sprinkler thing set up yet. So what's happening is it's got it full of water here, and then got the engine on tick over. There, got the pipes out the back, and then that's a 2-inch pipe, and we've got a reducer down here to a 1-inch pipe. That's what Tom's washing it with, and John's got some fleece over there. What's in here, John?
Need some stewardship mixes
Oh, stewardship mixes, yeah.
for agri.
Oh, right, yes,
They've gone in late and been very dry,
yeah,
so they need some moisture to get them going.
that's right. Yes, this is that was done last autumn. Looking at that, it's enough on those ones. Then Tom's just gonna. I'll switch the engine off. That's done it. Works well. How many litres? What we've got? So that's the front tank. Should be 5,000. It got down to just under.
6 out. On that first flight we did, they put that much.
Right. Yeah. So it's Friday, busy day. So not only have we got Anglian Water up at the cereal site, as well as the tracking people, we've also got a local company come in to give this 6215R John Deere a proper clean and get all clean underneath, and give it a really, really good sort of showroom valley condition. So I've got Tanvic's out to remove the wheels, because we're going to need to take all the wheels off, and they can climb under the tractor to do it. And so then also I've got a pole removing company. When I say pole, as in telegraph pole, to move some poles in the paddock. So we'll just have a quick look here and just see how well and what a good job Joe's doing cleaning the tractor with it. So we've got the wheels off to clean all around and underneath it, and I must admit it's staggering when you look at what's under there, how much muck there is. Looking better already. Right, next thing Friday, Anglian Water, and we're just looking for this connection on this roadside that we had when we had the event in 2004 and 2008, and it is here, and Jamie has just found it. I went back to some old aerial photos we had from 2004 where we got some disturbance on the roadside, counted the telegraph poles. There's some wires here you can see, and then we've Jamie's just found in a rough area where it is. So we've got another team coming out hopefully in the next week or so to do a bit of excavation work and just see if we can find any connections in the bottom. So just to the side this hedge, you can't see, but just to the side of this hedge is the car park and a lot of the trade stands, and then just through there, that gap in the hedge there, that is the lane into the field where all the crop plots are. But we had this, underneath this roadside here, somewhere underneath here, there's an 8-inch main pipe that feeds Leadenham Reservoir, the village reservoir up in the distance. So it's huge capacity of water here, and we teed off this a few years ago, well, 2004, so 21 years ago. Teed off it, put something in the hedge bottom, and then that's how we fed the water for the site for when we had the event before. And I didn't realise that in 2020, we went back into the records, and 2020 the supply was taken out, or the meter was taken out, or something was done. Anyway, Jamie's now found, so that blue line is where the big pipe is underneath. We've got 2 squares here where we're going to be digging out when we get sorted, And that little indentation there was something. I think the meter might have been in there, or there was something there. So we've finally made progress after about 2 or 3 months. The trouble we've got is I was walking up and down this roadside in the winter with a pronged garden fork, because I knew within 100 yards I got a memory of where it was. So I was walking up and down this roadside in winter, stabbing the ground with this garden fork, expecting to find a metal top to the grating, to the cover, and every time I'd got a spare hour or two, used to come up here and find it, and just didn't. No luck at all. Then it wasn't until Barry, who does our diking work, he used to work for Angling Water, and he suggested what I do. So I went to someone in Angling Water place in Lincoln. Eventually, this is what started the whole ball rolling, and they went back into records. They actually found the job sheet, and in June 2020 they took this supply out, or they disconnected it, because if a meter isn't used for so many years, then they do that, they remove it. And this meter hadn't been used since 2008, so big wasted time really, because if we'd applied, and then what's happening now is if we can't find this connection here, we've then got to apply for a new connection, and it can take up to 3 months, which of course is beyond the date of the event. So, and then we have to have road closures and all sorts. But what we're looking at doing is probably, hopefully, bypassing all that. If we can do that, then Angling Water have been absolutely fantastic up to now. I can't thank them enough. So we're just going to see how we get on with this. But if I'd known all this, that this had been removed, I'd have started applying for all this in the winter time. Anyway, we're making progress now, thanks to Jamie, who's just going. And hopefully in the next week or so you will have an excavator here, a mini digger here, and we'll get Angling Water and we'll see what we can find down on this roadside. I've just arrived here at Donington, which is sort of Lincolnshire near Spalding, just to pick up these irrigation bits. Thanks ever so much, Alex, for opening up for us. We'll just go and get in and see what we've got. So Alex is getting me sorted out. We've got these sprinkler bases, and these are the quick couplings. There's the uprights with the rain head on the top. Here's the ones we've got to build up. And then we've got they will fit in there, and then a pipe on the end. We're just trying to get a Y junction as well, because it might be that we want to run 2 together, or one line off down there watering one plot and another off down there, and these will spread probably 12 metres wide, these ones each. We're just sorting out now a junction with some taps on. So if we want to switch them off, saves going back to the Bowser. We've got everything here. So that's great now. Here's got the Y junction, so that's coming in from the Bowser. Then this will go out to some of the rain heads, and then this will go out as well, so we can water different plots at the same time. And here's the hose that Alex has got. We've got 100 metres of this inch diameter hose, because we need to connect bits and bobs and cut them short to join together. We don't know how much hose we want yet, so it's better to take plenty. So this is where I've just been to DJEX, I think that's how they pronounce it, at Donington, near Spalding area, and done a great job, Alex has, getting us sorted. So we'll look at these and get them all coupled up and just see how we can make a difference to the plots, and some of the plots that are drying out at cereals. You'll see that in the next update. So really useful here. Got a lot of fittings and fixtures, and I can see I'll be coming back here to use these again. We're really pleased with that. Thanks ever so much, Alex, for your help, and thanks also for opening up on a Saturday, which you wouldn't normally do, because you normally, the minute now, you close until bank holiday, because of Bank Holiday Monday, open on Tuesday. But thanks, Alex, really appreciate that. So I'll let you know how we get on. But if anybody wants any fittings, please, as I say, go to them, because they've got so much stock in there for commercial gardening stuff, and also sort of market gardening stuff, irrigation and things like that. So that's it for another Sunday update. Hope you enjoyed that. You can see a huge amount going on there up on the cereal site. It's full on preparation time, ready for build up, which won't be long. Just hope we get a rain, but there's nothing forecast for the next couple of weeks. And the crops really are starting to suffer on the farm, as you can see. And it really is getting marginal now when you start to look at the way the prices are. The prices are the lowest they've been for a long while. Maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years probably. Maybe even before COVID, the prices haven't been as bad as that or as low as this. And then with the crop prospects as well, because of the dry weather, it's not looking very good, I must admit, for this coming year. Anyway, it's one of those things. That's what we do with farming. We can't do anything about it. Just remember as well, please register for any tickets if you want to do that. The ticket registration link is in the video description. And remember, the discount code for you for 50% price tickets is WAFFLE25. So that's it for this update. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you midweek.